Hello, I have a 2009 Dodge Grand Caravan. Recently the water pump went out on it. I'm going to be working on replacing that part. I've already taken apart a few things. I went ahead and removed the top of the air filter here, disconnected the sensor, and then also the tube where it connects into, so that's out of the way. I'll hop down here real quick. In a moment I'm going to start the engine up and show you where it's leaking from. But like you can see right here is the main crankshaft, and up here above it, if I can get the light to show, there we go. Up there above it is the actual water pump. That's the piece we have to replace. You can see it's right up against the frame here, as well as some other parts that we need to get to, like the tension rod. It's going to have to be pulled back so we can loosen the tension on the pulley itself. But it's definitely something that they did not make easy to get to. Probably so you'd have to take it in. But like I said, I'll show you how to get to it and how to get it fixed, so you don't have to waste a bunch of your money on getting it fixed. You'll notice already this whole area has been opened up, and that's because I already took the guard off. Both of those pieces are sitting right over here right now. They're pretty easy to take off. Let's see, we've got some of those plastic, I don't know what the heck you call them, little screw things. There's two of them that hold it in place. One's right here, one's right here, and then there's two screws that go in. One's right here, and then the other one's right here. That's really easy to take off. So now that you've caught up, I'm going to go turn the van on so you can see how it's leaking, and you'll notice there's going to be a lot leaking from here, and there's going to be just a little bit that you can kind of see from up here. Give the light. Okay, I just turned the engine on. It usually takes it a moment. Once it kicks in, then you'll see it start dripping like crazy. We'll go wait for a moment to get it till it starts so you can see it, and I'll show it right to you. You want to make sure you have a bucket of some sort to catch it too. Alright, there you can see it's dropping. It's dripping like crazy right here by the crankshaft. If you look up here further, my line is this again. There you go, you can actually see it's dropping down right there. And that's right where the water pump's at. If you go to the top and you look around, you won't see any antifreeze dripping from anywhere else. So that's the culprit. Let's get it fixed. Alright, one thing I went ahead and did is I actually turned my tire so it's facing outward so I can more easily access this area. The next step is to actually come up in here and take the tension off the belt. For that, you just use a regular ratchet and stick it in here. And I'm not going to be able to do this while I'm videoing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down on it so I can loosen that belt, and I'm going to take that belt off so that it takes the tension off of the water pump. Alright, next step is to take off those 3 bolts. You can see them. They're kind of on the outside edges here. So there's like one right here. There's another one right here. There you go, you can kind of see them there. So we're going to need to take those off to help get that pulley off. Alright, I've managed to loosen all 3 of the screws that are on there. They take a 1/2 inch wrench. I was able to pair them up at first to get them off, and then the last one that was really tight, I had to hold tension on the cable itself, and then just get it like in place and wedged in there and pull as hard as I could, and eventually the whole thing just kind of popped loose. Now they're all 3 loose, so they're finger tight. So now I'll just unscrew them with my hand, and then I'll go to the next step. Alright, I was able to get the bolts out of there. Problem is, I still can't get that pulley to come off. So I'm not sure if if it's just like stuck in place, like, you know, how things can get kind of rusted in place, or if there's something else holding on to it. It turns out I just needed to get a pry bar and
pry it off, so it wasn't anything too difficult once I dug into it a little bit more. What we can see here is bolts that hold this in place. So we've got like one up here, one down here, one here, one here, and there's another one up on top. We'll take those out, and then if we're lucky, this will have enough space in between the water pump itself and the sidewall to be able to come just straight off. You know, we'll probably pull it backwards and wedge it off that way. But we should have enough space. I'm going to go ahead and get those bolts out of there and get the water pump pulled out. Thanks. There's still some antifreeze kind of dripping down from where the hole's at. You can see it's still dripping down. I did manage to get it out. So here's the old one. Went to the auto parts store today and they had to order a new one, so I'll finish that up tomorrow. In the meantime, what I need to do still is kind of clean up this gunk around the outside here. So where that gasket was sitting, it left some residue, and we don't want to have any holes when we put our new gasket on. So we're going to scrape that up, give it a little buff, and that way it's ready for the new gasket and the new water pump to go on tomorrow.
Okay, I got the new water pump. It's always important to make sure that the old one matches the new one. So if we take a look here, you can see the old one, and if we look right here, you can see the new one. So this side all matches up like it's supposed to. Just flip it over. So here again we have the old one and the new one. Make sure that all the bolt holes are lining up just right where they're supposed to be, according to the old one. And you can see here they all match as well. So it looks like we're good to go. So we'll go ahead and start getting this one installed, and yeah, kind of go from there. Alright, I was able to put the new water pump in just by sliding it through the side here, and it went right into place. One thing to note is as you're tightening the bolts, you want to tighten them evenly. So you don't want to like tighten one all the way down and then go to the next one, tighten it all the way down. You want to kind of rotate around as you go. That way it seals it evenly all the way around. Alright, the next step is to put the pulley back on. And then I've hand tightened these bolts so far. And next I'll go around and I'll tighten them permanently. There should be some specifications as far as how tight you get these with your vehicle. So look that up if you're interested and get it all tightened down properly. That way it doesn't loosen up over time. But that's the next step. Alright, once you get all the bolts tightened up, then it's time to put the belt back on. I've already done that. You just take your tension puller here and use your socket to loosen it up, and then get the belt pulled all the way around and make sure everything's good and snug and tight like it's supposed to be. Next step we're going to do is add some antifreeze back into the system, and then we'll fire it up, make sure everything's good and secure and not leaking. Okay, I got everything reassembled. I added antifreeze into the radiator. Just make sure it's cold before you do it, which it ought to be since you've been working on putting a new water pump in for so long. If we look down in here, we can very easily see that everything's spinning around like it's supposed to. If we hop down to the bottom side, everybody can see that there's no liquid dripping, so it's all staying nice and dry like it's supposed to. Only a couple things left is getting the cover put back on that goes in this area to help kind of keep it protected from water that splashes up and things like that. And then also on the top side, putting the air filter back on. But otherwise, everything's looking really good. So I'm pretty happy with this project. It went really smooth. But anyhow, this concludes our project, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and you can
use what I've demonstrated here today for your own vehicle. Thanks.